At what age should schools start to teach children about LGBT plus relationships?
Oh my gosh, I honestly have the deepest of opinions. I really know, because I really want kids, but I'm thinking, now they introduced something like that in Popeye's cartoons, so that kids can watch male-to-male cartoons, kiss and stuff.
Really?
I honestly, from deep down my heart, I don't want my boy, rather, I'm thinking, of course I want boys, but like my boy, because I'm gay, right? Here's the question. So my boy, I don't want him to be born into my system. Okay, so my system is I'm gay.
Yes.
I don't want him to, I know it's information he's gonna understand as he grows up.
Understand what?
From my side. Understand who I'm gay, I have two dads.
Okay.
Do you understand? I don't want it from day one or...
What is wrong with him knowing it from day one?
I just don't want to box him.
No,
that's
so
my opinion from my side.
But how are you boxing him in when you're teaching him what happens in the world every day?
Not
Because I can say the same thing about my daughter or my son.
Yeah.
If I'm heterosexual and say, I don't want him to say heterosexual couples.
Yeah,
because that's
to be
my
boxing
system.
Why
to
is
the
your
I think the
system
moment
something to hide?
the question was at what age, right? Or probably in school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think the moment, like when they now, at what grade does LO start? Life orientation, grade 4. Then it should be at that stage. It should be at that age because that's when they learn about probably like the periods. I think I'm not so sure about. So they should learn about homosexuality as well at that age. I think at that, if it's grade 4, so it should start at grade 4.
Okay, I have two questions. One, the people exist who are gay in all aspects of our society.
Of course, yeah.
So why are we then waiting for kids to get to school to learn about the existence of gay people and what that looks like and what that is, when we can start teaching them from at home? Because then we are shifting a responsibility to one system that can only teach in a certain way.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
For me personally, I've got a child.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that I do my homework at home with my child.
Yeah.
When she goes to school, I need them to back up what I'm teaching at home.
Yes.
I'll tell you why.
I agree.
When my child switches on the TV and watches the cartoons and all of these different programs, why is she not seeing her mum represented?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why does she have to be this niche that's always to the side?
Yes.
The earlier you introduce it, is the more normal it becomes.
But then you're agreeing with me because that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. But in the sense of the school has to back it up. It has to be backed up.
But they
It's
don't
not
have to
just
be the one
about
to
me.
introduce
But then
it.
remember, not all families are for being homosexual.
But-
like really, honestly, truly, how do you then teach your child about homosexuality or about being gay when you are homophobic?
I think it's
Do you
not about
understand?
teaching
Straight.
them.
Oh,
they're
it's
straight.
Because
They all straight, remember?
Because
And
if
we
you're
are an
homophobic,
age
how am I
market.
going to teach you, like, babe, these people who are gay in this world, I don't want you to be gay from get-go.
get-go.
So I think in school, when now it's LO and now
It's
in that
objective.
stage,
Life orientation.
whereby you know if the teacher teaches you, okay, this is a gay person, or probably this is how you feel when you're a gay person, you can relate and probably you can take it from there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like,
I think my biggest thing is what are we teaching? Because we don't ask ourselves when is the right time to teach heterosexuality at school. You know, because there's many different aspects that we could be talking about. If you're speaking of LO, I'm thinking then, okay, maybe now you're speaking of sex education, which would then say, okay, let's incorporate every aspect of sexuality in sex education. But I think,
you know,
in terms of educating students and children on sexuality, for me, it's very much of a catch-22 because it's like, let's just get representation. So nobody has to learn about it specially. But just teaching is such a hard thing. It's like we're teaching stuff that we're going to get examined on. Is there a test?
you know, this is the thing about being, I get your point, fully I do get your point. However, as gay people, I think we're in a point where we don't have to prove a point, but we'll always have to back ourselves up because we are facing like literally a generation that is against us, that is questioning us, that want to know, some don't want to know. So we are in a point where we should be like, let it be taught in school.
No,
because not everybody understands it. Not
but
everybody
Roman,
wants to accept it. Not everybody. So it should be taught.
Roman, see, when you say we need to teach it at school, right? Which I think, as you say, sex education and all of that needs to be done and has to be more inclusive. I think the moment they get into school, they need to know
everything about it. So and not a formal teaching. I think teaching is still a weird thing because what are you teaching? There's a mommy, okay. Daddy, okay. So what? I think you need to the teaching should you can't teach it because it exists. It's like me saying to you, for 15, how old are they when they in primary school? 6 years, right? You had mommy and mommy. So that's been real for you for the past, all of your life at that point. So I can't then be teaching you in school at grade 4 when they do LO and say, okay, well, your family, okay, here's what really is happening. It's queer, this is what's happening, your mom, and then your friends start, understanding your life in particular. I think the idea of having to teach something in school is very weird for me about things that happen every day. I think we can go as far as clear it up some misconceptions.
So where to then? If we don't teach it at school,
we get someone
if we
else?
don't.
Well, I think coming off of what you just said, I think maybe not teaching it, but having it in the form of when you have the books, everybody gets sent home with these books.
It's a whole
that goes
subject.
with it. So it's something that you don't have to talk about. It's already in the book.
Yeah.
Sarah and her mummy and her other mummy, blah blah
Okay.
blah blah blah.
Now that makes
blah,
sense.
blah, blah,
Now
blah.
that makes
It's
sense.
in a book.
Now
You're
that makes
reading
sense.
it.
Yes.
So there's a conversation that is said at home. Then you have there's also
Okay.
a class reader that everybody gets
I feel
involved.
like they
That
can-
way, as they get older and you start
It's
going
normal.
into the dynamics of what you do within those relationships, then you start to hear more.
Yes.
But I think if it's implemented with a book, just in simple literature in
No,
it,
yeah.
it's normal because you
Makes
forever
sense.
seeing Tom and
Does-
Jack.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly what I was saying.
Why can't it just be Jill and Janet? Why can't it be Bob and Ben? I don't get it. Yeah, Femi and Obi. Why not? I don't understand.
I think
But I thought
normalizing it in the sense that we don't look like we exist in isolation from the rest of the world. So even as if we're talking about Jack and Jill went up the hill, maybe it was Jill and Jill, you know what I mean? So not in a way that says Jill and Jill and they're gay, but it just it
It's
looks
normality,
whatever.
yeah,
It's
it's
normal.
normality.
It's normal,
But then-
and then we can incorporate the vocab and what that means for sexuality
But
and
remember though, 'cause we've had backlashes, especially in this country, about certain things being taught in primary schools, right? We've had issues about parents coming home and saying, I don't want my kids learning about sex education at grade 3. I want to leave them until they're older, which again is sort of problematic because kids will find out somewhere else. Yeah. But when you start formalizing and say, when does the curricula then say we can have those readers in class? Because some parents will say, but yeah, Nims, I hear you, because for you in your home, you're open, that's what you're doing, you normalizing your child to that. But me and my wife, Itumeleng, don't want
You don't
that.
have,
Tough.
too
Tough.
bad.
Tough.
We can't exclude people just because
Yeah.
you don't believe in it or you don't
That's
like
the
it.
law, that's the
Sorry.
curriculum. Listen, yeah. If you don't like it, take your picnic out the school. Yeah? It's in the curriculum, simple, done.
Not everyone will understand and agree with it. I mean, you've got parents who are from a different generation altogether trying to understand things that we've learned over a period of time. So it can't actually be, just a thing where we don't even understand where they're coming from. It has from both sides.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no room
Yeah,
for
that's
homophobia in preferences.
But what I'm
no.
trying to get to is that I think there has to be some sort of complementary,
Opt in, opt out.
No, not opt out. I think we need. It's not going to change. I'm black. You're white. You're Jewish.
And
We
that's
need to exist. So I need to tell
Mm.
you. Andy, he's Jewish. You can't get away from that. So Andy's mom is gay. That's it. But my point is, I think what we need to do is also start thinking about the people who are going to enforce this, right? At home, because when I come home and they say, Sarah and her moms were at the park. Leroy's parents were like,
Shouldn't be
there has to be something on the other side at PTA meetings, at whatever, to say, okay, the reason why we're teaching this
The age gap.
because they already know, and the parents know already, and they already have the prejudices. So what we're trying to do is sort of say, listen, we're telling you this because it happened. When she gets to the work world, your child has to deal with all these people who are different to them or the same as them. So you need to sort of get in.
I think it speaks to them what we were saying yesterday about bridging the age gap in education, so that we don't only focus on kids, but we also focus on the adults.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, now I'm gonna leave my point because you've just summed it up. All right.
Yes.
The kids and the storyline, it's perfect. The book and so it's perfect. Hence, I'm saying, my kids must remember we can't teach emotions. Being gay is an emotional thing. It's not a physical thing. Am I wrong?
I need you to give me more.
Probably contextualize.
It's an emotional thing. Remember, now you're not here parenting, and you are parenting, enforcing how we need books, and I'm thinking, what about the child?
What about the child?
Exactly.
What about
Listen,
the child?
you are the parent. Can you also focus on it? This person is also a human being.
But the point how we teach it is the
So, Mamela, I feel I'm more connected in terms of being a human being and not the gender. If you like it, I will show you the way of growing up as a human being, not a gender or female. No, I will groom you rather as a parent with no disrespect. I don't want my kids to be any gender. Like I'm gonna grow, and whatever I'm gonna have, it's a male and female because of the earth. Okay? And the system of life, which it's a male, it's a female.
Okay.
That's me. However, emotionally,
Yes.
if they're gonna watch Jill and Jill, like you said, hey now, I'm okay with it. However, I don't want to enforce it as a parent.
But how is teaching enforcing it?
No, I'm not teaching emotion. I can't teach
But
emotion.
you're not teaching it, you're
we're
enforcing
talking,
it.
yes.
Why
You're
should I
enforcing it,
enforce
you're teaching
emotion?
But no
You're
one
enforcing
said,
it.
no one said
Okay,
anything about
what I-
enforcing.
okay, listen.
You're saying, no. You're saying what heterosexual people say. You're being a heterosexual.
Okay.
You are saying that by teaching kids
You being a
about being gay,
heterosexual.
then
You're
we're
making them gay.
influencing a decision that they might make about themselves.
Listen.
You are saying, you are living up to heteronormative norms.
Okay.
Because that's how we were raised. We were raised with this one thing being the normal. And that influenced how some of us see ourselves, which later on we realize, actually, I'm not this thing that I'm being taught about. Now you are saying that in the same light, teaching kids about gay people then will influence whether or not they feel like they want to be gay.
Yes.
You?
Listen, first and foremost, I'm this
You
this
are being
person's-
homosexual.
I'm being this person's parent. Can we not forget that part? Listen,
Okay.
Now I'm a strict parent.
Yeah.
Okay. I will teach this.
At this
they
point,
want-
can I ask
Listen,
something? Can I ask
wait,
something?
wait,
At
wait,
this point-
let me teach you. Listen,
Jada,
I will-
at this point, are you coming across as the straight parent or the
I'm
gay
the parent. I'm
Just
not
the
the
parent.
homosexual
Oh, okay.
parent or the straight parent
Yes.
or the gay
Right.
parent or the drag queen parent.
Yeah.
No, I'm a parent.
Yes.
Yeah. If this person sees me looking straight at age 8, I don't want him to listen. The look. I'll get to that point.
He sounds like a heterosexual person. I don't know if proximity to heterosexuality is a thing, but if it was, that is it.
I don't want him to feel like, oh, okay, Baba. And now, do I call you Baba? Do I call you
sorry,
father
that is
or
not
mother?
possible.
Listen,
No.
listen to
You-
my
the
point.
tangent is
Listen
so
to my
confusing.
point.
No.
Listen to
No,
my
no,
point. Ne? You're not understanding.
Of course
You're
I'm
not
not.
understanding.
No, do
Okay,
you know
fine.
what? Sorry,
I'm-
as a parent, sorry, I have to cut
Okay.
you. As a parent, especially a gay parent, it is your duty. Yeah, it is your duty, right? Because you are in a better position to bring up a well-rounded individual,
Rounded.
right? Well-rounded individual that understands about this,
Yeah.
that, and the other.
Yes.
Right? It is because you understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
Me personally, I care less who my child goes for. Right? I care less. Right? I just want my child to be happy. That is the most important thing. That's
Yes.
what, as a parent, you need to teach your child.
Okay.
And
Gay, straight, whatever.
Listen, you are a black African man, okay? A black African gay man. Nonsense. It is nonsense that you would actually ask somebody else to teach your child something that you should be enforcing at home. Ridiculous.
I think everyone here, everybody has a story that if we were all like being gay, relationships and whatnot was taught at a very young age, would like have different opinions or will be very confident or will
Yes.
to explain ourselves further
Let me
and whatnot.
share with you something, right? So I went to a boys' school. I went to a co-ed school for my primary schooling, and then I went to a single-sex school. And what I found very early on was that there's massive policing of male masculinity, especially male bodies in relation to other male bodies, right?
Okay.
So for me, it felt so weird when I had. So it's sort of okay for us to sort of like touch each other at the rugby field, right? But when we get into our rooms, like, no, dog,
No.
we don't, you know,
Yeah.
and even things like in the boarding house, showering in the same place,
Uh-huh.
they had no shower curtain, but you stand in your corner and you hide away from
Yes.
everyone else because I don't need you seeing my measure of masculinity, okay? You know, how big my package is,
For whatever
how
the
strong
case
I am,
may
how
be.
buff I am. And for someone like me who is short, you know,
You were
small,
petite, probably.
yeah. And you know, fairly feminine for where I was. it was so clear to me that this was not home for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And had it been taught to everyone else, because we used to say the line, hey, that's gay, dog, that's gay, your mom's gay. And that was an insult. So for me, in sort of 17, 18, I started realizing my relationship with men is not what my other people's relationships is, and I felt completely confused.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I came out in varsity only, because I didn't know that this world existed.
Yeah.
And had it been taught to me, even in earlier years, I'd have been like, oh, okay, so it's okay for me to like Buhle, it's okay for me to like Roman, oh, okay, fine. Let's move on. I could then fashion my identity around it because and what happens is that the secondary thing is that you start also exhibiting what you feel like are the archetypes of that orientation, because you feel like I need to belong there too.
Yeah.
So for instance, if you find someone like me who's like, okay, cool, I present as a male, but I really just like on the weekend like to wear some eyeliner or whatever. I couldn't even fashion that world for myself, what I am as an individual, because I was just like, I'm as gay as possible because at least they accept me for who I am or part of who I am more than those guys do. So it had happened for me earlier on. It would have been so much easier for me to go, okay, I'm gay, but I'm sort of this kind of gay guy.
You're currently dragging girl.
Because I find it very offensive when people use it as a diss, like, that's gay. I know what they mean, but I'm like, saying like, that's black, you know, that's part of me. I don't like it.
But for me, it was slightly different. I went to a very open primary school.
Okay.
Whereby open-minded. We had everybody, right? Everybody.
Nice.
And we were taught about gays and lesbians. We were taught about everything. We watched videos and saw people walking around their bits flying.
Hello.
I saw all of that. But it wasn't backed up at home, right? It wasn't backed up at home. At home, I had conflicting sides. I had my mum, who was okay, and then I had my dad, who was like, bun that, bun that, chichi man, nah, bun that, it's this, it's wrong, it's that.
Yeah.
So I had these conflicting things. So it didn't help going home and hearing I hear my dad being homophobic, right? But I had a sense of somewhere that I kind of, when I got to school, at least I could understand. I didn't treat anybody differently. I didn't treat anybody differently. But I just wish that the earlier it gets taught, my dad might have not have been, had it been earlier in time, my dad might not have been as rough with it till now. So it's kind of, and that's spilled on, because me and my dad don't talk now, because of the way he thinks and never being able to come out of that, because he's stuck in that mind frame. So he will be one of these parents that contests it. However, I just think that ultimately the earlier you bring it in is the more normal life is. I had, in secondary school, there was a boy and his mum was a lesbian, and it was the talk of the school for about a week. Then they moved on to talk about something else. That was it.
I think for me, I have very conflicting views on it. I mean, for someone that just got out of school, I think especially my high schooling years were very much easier, and because I went to an all-girls school, very much more open. Primary school, I would like to say, I mean, I've always been sort of masculine presenting, like tomboyish from like a young age, and I think it did bring on quite a bit of bullying and whatnot. So that part of me would have wished that maybe if it was taught earlier, that would have been better. But then I'm thinking, I have to go home with like school material that has like Jill and Joe, and I'm gonna say what to my father. And I'm thinking, in such a homophobic household, had I been taught that and had to bring that home, and for me it's like,
they'll change schools.
I'd rather take the bullying than the conflict at home, you know.
I understand.
But I mean, if it was up to me personally, I would have loved that it was taught at school. But I mean, I'm happy that it wasn't because of that very reason.
Right, if I may, I literally have like a different experience. Hence, you feel like I'm a heterosexual, blah, 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 blah. I had a fair share of being straight. Hear me, okay? Straight in terms of, I was within the straight guys, the schoolie. When I decided to be in a relationship with a girl, okay, my emotions were true towards that girl, okay? In terms of, I mean, I had my problems here. You know, I'm a developing guy, you know, I know I'm gay. Oh my gosh, I know I'm gay. And then you see this hot guy, like, oh, where's my girlfriend? Then I call her, whatever the case may be. That will torment me. It tormented me from primary till of course, varsity. However, I had my first job because mentally I told myself, if I'm gonna be happy, then I need to do whatever I do fully, 100%. So when I was straight in high school and maintained that stature, whatever the case may be, I enjoyed being with girls, but I didn't enjoy the sex. I was there and I was like, oh my gosh, this whole, when is it ending? You know?
What?
That was the part where I was gay. Do you get what I'm saying? So hence I'm saying, I will never ever be the normal homosexual parent. Oh, okay, my child, now let's read this Jill and Jill. No. My child will go and pick the book.
You know,
do you get what I'm saying?
That's why everybody,
it's very different.
Stories, everybody wishes that it was started earlier. Because now,
Except
probably, if it was started earlier, and I'm a straight parent, and my child comes out gay, I would know because back then I studied it earlier, and then it goes on and it becomes normal.
What about parenting classes as well? As well as
exactly
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There has to be something where there's something offered to parents as well. Send it has to go hand in hand. It has to go hand in hand. If it's explained why we are teaching this, not that we are trying to teach your child to be gay, we are teaching you this because this is the society they live in, and they will fall short in life if they go into work with their prejudices and their boss is gay. And these are the things that you need to drum into parents. Not all of them will get it, but some may get it. And I think it's a start. You have to start somewhere.
You know what I was actually thinking about now is that, we've got these, like in labor sectors, right, you have these soft skills, EQ things that you have to do. So, soft skills, how do you interact with other people, and I found the weirdest thing is that in South Africa especially, what we do is that we, when it's enforced by the government, we think it's like really, really real, right? Like, well, it is real, but it's like, if for instance, we had a really crap curriculum when I was in high school for like 3 years, and they pulled it out, and we all suffered because of it, right? But during that time, we were all like, we must do this OBE thing, we need to do it, And to your point, if you teach it and you teach parents that if he does not do this, if she doesn't do this, when she gets to work, EQ is how much they evaluate, is a big factor of how much they get paid. So if you can't interact with someone who's different, if you're prejudiced in any way, we'll take that the money out of your salary. Your cost to company will become less. They realize it has an economic impact. They know that my child's livelihood is on the line here, our lives are on the, so that it has some sort of value in the end. Say, as a parent, if your dad goes into the office and I'm interviewing him as a gay man, and he, acts out, I'll be like, cool, let's hire him, but he needs to spend 6 months in EQ classes and do doc his pay for the next 12 months so that he can get his act together.
It won't work.
I think what you're saying is that it also helps in terms of representation and this idea that gay people are a certain way, they do certain jobs, you only find them in certain spaces. So it removes all of that to say, at the end of the day, your child might have to work for a gay person or with a gay person. So it removes from that thing of them thinking that, again, we exist separately from all of them, so they don't have to deal with us. You can't teach someone to be something that they are not. No one was taught how to be straight. It was exceptionalized. It was treated as the norm. So we were all taught to aspire to it. But presenting other things that are options is not influencing someone's way of being themselves.
And of course, Mina Abantwana, I will not ever, as a parent, like I'm saying, as a parent, my kids will come to me, hey, yes, daddy, I will always have that, daddy, mother, whatever. Hence I said, female, male, doesn't matter to me. So my kids will come to me, and I'll always have a door open, always again, talk to me about anything. As a parent, I'm not saying, okay, I don't want to program myself as a parent. My child tonight, I'm not sure which one I must ask. Okay, do you want the Jill and Jill or the straight? With me, it's not gonna sit well. Ne? I'm landing my point. With me, it's not gonna sit well as a parent. Ne? But if she goes or he goes and chooses Jill and Jill, I will read Jill and Jill to her. Thank you.
I'm so mad at you because I think what you're doing is that you're making your phone an Android, right? Your child an Android, because you're remember, children learn from birth, everything that we do, right? And then they learn the differences from that. Okay, so you know, whatever, you like pawpaw, I don't like pawpaw. I learned actually from experiencing it that I don't like it.
Yes.
That's the first point. So when you say your kid must come up to you and say, Mom, I want to read Jill and Jill, remember the kid hasn't formed the opinion yet. So what you need to do is say, I'm going to present you with all these things that exist in the world. So when you go out there and you find one that resonates with you, a mixture of, one of, part of, whichever one of these works for you, I'm cool with that.
Because, I mean, you need to have a choice, right? So what's the big issue about you presenting the options and then they're making a choice? Why should they go and bring you the book?
We need the right representation. I'm fed up of saying it. It irritates me because you know what? As a gay woman, my child needs to see her parents in books, just like everybody else.
Yes. And I hear you on that. I hear that you'll say whatever they want to do, you'll go with it and you'll parent them that way. But I'm very confused why you don't present them the issues first to say.
For it.
No, but no, you can't allocate your responsibility to teachers only.
You do realize.
You know.
That's
With me, I
right.
don't want to lie. I've heard, growing up, I had a different childhood, like whatnot. It was not taught, but at home, I've never been in a point where I had to probably, Mom, I'm gay, or Dad, I'm gay, or whatnot, or my mom or my brothers had a problem with that, you know. But I still emphasize at the point of, I think it needs to be taught. I think it needs to start at a very young age, like everybody's saying. Between 9 and 10, this is when now you are exposed to different world, you are exposed to being with friends. It's no longer about you being at home, being taken care. You are playing, so you experience different types of people. There'll be gays, there'll be straight people, there'll be probably drag queens. In terms of the emotion, I think when you talk about emotion, I think probably you moving in the direction of saying you don't want your child to box themselves or to think, okay, I'm gay because I do certain things, or I'm straight if I do certain things, or whatnot. I think that's what you are saying, and that's where I'm getting you from.
Yes.
So all I'm just saying, for me, I'm glad that I didn't grow up that way, or when
being taught
to okay, you are gay when you do this.
Okay.
This is what gay people do. Or this is, you know, I'm glad that I've never even got to a point where I had to call a family meeting and say, I'm gay. I've never had that point.
No.
I'm really, really, like you said, going to a boys' school, you then discovered, you knew who you were, but because you were not taught or you were not aware or whatnot, you only came out in varsity. So with me, I've always been gay, I've always been feminine, I've always like walked the way I walk, did what I do and what I do now. So also going down to a point to say, I think it was also important that they teach it in school.
Yeah.
Period.
I think my biggest thing is I'm still on the stance of I don't know to what level we're putting education. I mean, if we're featuring it like we feature heterosexuality in literature, that's a definite. I mean, personally, I'm happy I didn't learn it due to the conflict it would have caused. But I'm glad that, like, if it does get taught, I mean, it would be a wonderful thing for me. But yeah, I'm still on the stance.
We can't compare
Yes.
homosexuality to
I agree with you to certain extents, right? But with the whole, you know, taking the book home. For me, taking that book home would have been years ago, right? But today, and the society that we live in, we've got social media, the internet, all of these things that are apparent now, right? And it's there in your face. And this is why you do realise that, you know, gay parents, their children usually are not gay. You know, you realise that's not usually the case. So you teaching them about what it is to be gay is not going to be it's not going to make them gay.
I do not know why people think that gay people produce gay children, okay? Myth, okay? My parents are straight.
I'm glad my child at 12 can come and ask me, Mummy, as hard as it was to hear it, I'm glad she felt able to come to me and say, Mummy, how do lesbians have sex? She felt able, and I said, at first I was like, you want some big people business for? But I don't want her to go to the internet and find out the wrong way. I don't want to go to her friends and find out the wrong information, right? So I'm just going to continue feeding you the right information.
Yeah. And also, you're coming from a place of knowledge, and I think my landing point about education is that sometimes we advocate the responsibility to people who themselves don't have, they're humans, right? So they also have their own prejudices, they have their own issues, they try to battle with their own demons. And as you say, you need to be there to reinforce it.
Yeah.
You need to be there. For me, firstly, we need to present options at school and at home. That's the education. To say, this is what the world looks like, right? Your pick must be your pick. And if you can't find your pick here, it's cool. We'll go find the pick for you, right? And I think the thing about this community is, and I've said this before, that the LGBTI plus Q community is exactly that. Whatever you feel, whatever works for you, is there on the table. I can only present what we know and then say to you, these are some of the ones that we have right now, that we recognize, that we see, that we know of. If you're not here, cool, it's fine. And then at school, I don't want a teacher saying to me, Jack and only Jill, to my kids. I want them to go, here's Jack, here's Jill, here's Jill's auntie, and this is how they are. And I think education should start the moment they start learning anything.
Yes.
The moment they can differentiate that they go mommy and mommy, daddy and daddy, auntie and auntie. They must know that there's a mommy and a mommy, and a daddy and a daddy. And an auntie who was an auntie last week, and a few years later had an uncle. Because those are real things. Because at some point we have to face reality. This kid has to go to work. And when they find people, then they go, I'm fair too, you're not what I think you are. Not your problem, not your business. Continue teaching.
I think
Excuse me.
you cannot teach someone to be something that they are not.
Yeah.
All that does is delay their lives, right? So by teaching someone about something, you're not reinforcing it and you are not forcing them to be a certain way. It worked differently with heterosexuality because we were taught that that is the only way to be. So when they taught us that this is the normal, we felt that that is the normal that we should aspire to. So you feel uncomfortable when you don't fit in to that normal. But when you present options, then people won't feel boxed because you're not saying there's straight and there's gay. You're saying there's straight, there's gay, there's trans, there's bi, there's pan, there's all these other things that you can be. And just because I am teaching them to you and I identify with one of them, it doesn't mean that I'm saying you should now go with the one that I am teaching you. It is also unfortunate that now as the gay kids, we have that responsibility to choose where we want what information to come from because of what conflicts may arise in our families or in society at large. That is, it's an unfair responsibility to put on a child who's confused about their own identity to then choose where it is safe for them to be themselves. Heteronormativity. That's it. That's the tweet. Done.